Welcome to Speaking of Pets.
We're the Novotny sisters from Cleveland, Ohio.
I'm Dr. Alice Novotny-Jeroman, a board-certified veterinary dermatologist.
And I'm not. I'm Janet Novotny-King, the doctor's sister, podcast co-host, pet owner, rescuer, and lover.
We're here to provide pet owners with science-based information to help them be the best pet parents they can be.
Here's today's episode, created just for you and your pets.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show today. Janet, anything new on your end?
Well, exciting news. My cabinets will be in next week on this eternal renovation. And you can see I don't have my kitchen in my background anymore.
Well, listen, no one knows about eternal renovation more so than our guest today, Rachelle Allen, also known as Shelly. Shelly is the founder and director of the Silver Snout Senior Dog Rescue in Venice, Florida. And we have so much to talk about because, Janet, you know I've always adopted senior dogs. I love senior dogs. Well, Shelly adopts out little tiny senior dogs, and I have to tell you, they come in kind of just not sure where they are, and they just blossom. Anybody that's afraid to adopt a senior dog, I've got news for you. You've got to listen to the show today because the dogs themselves are so inspiring, and Shelly, for what she does with Silver Snout, is so inspiring. So, Shelly, thank you for doing the show today. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited. This is going to be great.
Shelly, how did you get started? How did this all come about?
Oh, this is 100% my daughter's fault. Like, think back to having a teenager and says, Mom, I want to get this dog. Don't worry, I'll do all the work. You know, I'll take care of it. You won't have to do anything. We all know how that goes, right? So my daughter saw a dog online. They needed a foster home. She, please, let's just foster. It's not forever, you know.
It's temporary.
So
I'll come up the proof, I promise.
Yes, exactly. So we fostered this little old dog, and you know, she of course, 3 days in, she had better things to do, and Mom was taking care of the dog. But it was great. I loved every bit of it. I loved the foster process. We nursed him back to health. We got him adopted, and I fell in love with the whole fostering thing. Our daughter was the youngest, so once she flew the coop, then I didn't have anything to take care of anymore, and so I thought, I'm just going to do this foster thing. I'm going to try this out again. And so I did, and I did it again, and then I became friends with that rescue director, and I said, I think I want to have a rescue too. And she said, great, I'll help you.
Oh, wow.
But two's better than one. And so she helped me put together my rescue, and it just took off from there.
And that was in Indiana, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was in Indiana.
Got it.
So how long have you had Silver Snout?
So Silver Snout started in 2022, and that's when we officially started. So we've been pretty new as our rescue, but I've not been new, obviously, to the rescue world because I did it on the other end as a foster for several years, about 3 years prior to that.
And what's so sad, Janet, is that these little old dogs, and we'll ask Shelly where she comes by these dogs, but they come in. And some of them have problems, and we'll talk about what the most common problems are. But they just blossom. They're such a delight. And I have to say, even as a veterinarian, I have learned so much from volunteering and just for the past 5 months, which hasn't been that long, at the rescue. It's been such a wonderful experience. And to be honest, we're moving back to Ohio, for 6 months, and I'm really going to miss. I know. I'm really going to miss all of because there's no cages. They just kind of amber around, and we'll show some of the patients, some of the dogs that live there. But I want to ask Shelly, where do you come by most of these dogs? What is the most common? Like, are they strays? Does another rescue call you? And mention about Southwest Airlines too, Shell.
Sure. Yeah. So these shelters, they got my number. I mean, my phone is constantly blowing up. The volunteers in the shelters, they hunt me down. Yeah. The rescue directors in the shelters. So it's the people that are inside the shelters, boots on the ground. These dogs come in, and a lot of them, are barely there for 24 hours, and I'm getting a call or text saying, Shelley, you've got to get this dog out of here because it's going to die here. And, you know, they'll send me pictures and things. And so then I, you know, start working right away. Can we take the dog? Do you know anything about the dog? I'll call Dr. Alice and say, listen, this is what they're telling me. Do you think we can do this? You know, and run by their medical stuff with her if I can, if I even know anything. Sometimes we don't know anything.
Right.
It's just, we're going to euthanize it tomorrow unless you want to try.
Oh, wow. So they
And,
come into
you know, so
a regular shelter, and that person will call you and say,
Well, some are kill shelters.
right, and we have an elderly
Yeah.
dog. Can you help? I get it. Wow.
Yes. Yeah, if they bring in an elderly dog and it's got any type of ailment at all, it's usually
Yeah.
going to go on the euthanasia list.
Yeah. If you're
because
not
they don't have the-
perfect, right.
yeah, they don't have the funding. People aren't going to go in there and adopt some old dog that's got a bunch of problems. It's just they're not going to mess with it, you know. And so we'll go and pick it up, bring it back here, assess it, you know, start working with it. And a lot of times we've got it out for adoption and it's off to its happy little home. So, you know, we had a dog today that actually got adopted today that was on the euthanasia list 3 months ago. Little Delilah got adopted today.
We'll put her
And
picture on so everyone can see
yeah,
her.
yeah. Delilah was 3 months ago. She was scheduled to be euthanized, and today she is running around the most beautiful home I've ever seen in my life, with an amazing adopted mom, and just tail wagging and ears blowing in the wind. It's just a beautiful, beautiful story. But yeah, so a lot of them come from that. We do get dogs from owners occasionally who are going into nursing homes or. You know, a lot of our older dogs come from older people.
Yeah.
And so the situations like that where they haven't planned in advance for should something happen to me, what happens to my dog. Unfortunately, a lot of people will assume that their family members will take care of their dogs should something happen to them. And that's a terrible thing to assume, because we see a lot of times that family members do not step in to take care of grandma's dog.
Right. They don't want any
Don't
part
love
of it.
grandma's dog the way grandma loved grandma's dog. And it happens a lot. And so that's one thing I always, anytime I can get in front of anybody, I tell them, have a plan for your dog.
Yeah.
Don't ever make an assumption that your family will take care of your dog. Don't
So do you have
Yeah.
a particular memorable adoption story that you'd like to share?
Oh. Gosh, which one?
Right? Oh my
There's gotta be
gosh.
one
there's
that's
so
really
many.
special.
Oh,
I think we should mention Randy Patrick.
you know that's where I'm going.
I know, and I
full name?
think she and I, Randy Patrick, we're going to have his picture. Tell that story, Shelley. That's just,
Yeah.
I might cry when
Yeah.
you're telling it, but
I know. So Randy Patrick came to us Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving. He was on the Thanksgiving euthanasia list. So the local shelter was going to euthanize 16 dogs the day before Thanksgiving because they didn't have the staff to be at the shelter over the holiday. So our rescue and another rescue went, and we were able to pull all 16 dogs. And so Randy Patrick was one of them that came to us. He had probably some of the worst skin I had ever seen. He was covered in, I mean, I try not to be too graphic, but he was covered in scabs that were very oozy, very painful. He was so uncomfortable, very thin, frail. You can tell that he had just had a very rough time prior to coming to us. But he was the most loving and forgiving little guy ever. He loved humans. He wanted to be cuddled and loved on and kissed. And even though he was so gross and so oozy and just, he wanted to be all up on you and loved, and just the best little dog. And all of our volunteers fell in love with him, and we would take turns carrying him like a baby, because if you put him down, he would just cry and cry and cry. And so we had one of those little baby swaddlers that you wrap around you, and we would take turns because it would just, we had to get stuff done. So it'd be like, here you go, it's your turn. Here, we would just pass him around, and we'd be mopping floors with Randy, tied to us, and had him wrapped in towels so that our shirts wouldn't get all dirty and gross. And Dr. Alice was coming and seeing him and helping us, figure out what this what this was, because I mean she's like the skin guru, and I don't know if it wouldn't for her, I don't think.
Well,
we
he
would
was
have ever
biopsied when I met you. He had pemphigus foliaceus, which is
Okay.
it's pemphigus is Latin for blister. So it was all these little crusts all over. So actually, the vet that you took him to made that diagnosis, but the issue was he was on long-term prednisone.
Oh,
Okay, yeah,
Yeah. So then
So-
go on after that. Yeah.
lifesaver right there.
Well,
But anyway,
We switched his
Okay.
meds. We switched his med.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, this lovely couple had come into the rescue center to, they wanted to meet some of our dogs and see what we were all about, this, that, and the other. And they fell in love with Randy Patrick, and he immediately took to them, especially the gentleman. And it was just, it was one of those like love at first sight type things. And it just couldn't have been a better match. And it was an accident. Like they just kind of came in to check the place out and see how things were, and just like a magnet.
did they go home with him?
And they
then?
ended up
Oh.
adopting him. Yes, and they bring him back here to visit us on a regular basis. We see him. Dr. Alice and I get a picture of the day.
Every day.
Every day
Little
we get a picture
St.
of the
Patrick's
dog.
hat and bow tie.
Yes, from the beach. I mean, just
He had to go to the
oh,
ophthalmologist for an eye problem. Guess what? Shelley and I got a picture of the ophthalmologist holding him at the appointment.
Yes.
He is
Yes,
so
yes.
loved. And to
Right.
think he was on that kill
list.
list. You know?
Mm-hmm. No, the dog is never left alone. It never leaves their sight. They take him everywhere they go. They have a little bog bag that they carry him in, and he literally goes everywhere. And we get a picture of everywhere he goes.
He is
And
so loved.
It is so funny. One of our volunteers actually ran into him at a restaurant the other day, and she had never met his adopters, but she recognized Randy Patrick. And she walked over and said, "Oh my God, is this Randy Patrick?" And they were like, "Yes, actually, this is." And she said, "Oh my God." You know, and
Celebrity.
it was this big reunion, and I guess Randy like jumped into her arms and was hugging all the. A beautiful story.
Well,
Absolutely.
also, Shelley, tell us, you have numerous volunteers,
Yes.
and I want people to know, you don't have to know anything about veterinary medicine to go volunteer at one of these shelters. So tell us what some of the volunteers do.
Oh,
And what do you
awesome.
look
Yeah,
for in a
so-
volunteer?
Yeah.
You just have to like dogs. I mean, just don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's really very simple. So we have here at our rescue center, we have 3 different shifts per day. Shifts is what we call them. But 8 to 10 in the morning, that volunteer comes in. There's usually a little bit of a mess from the nighttime.
Little
we
bit of
don't have
twinkle.
great. Yeah, they're old dogs. They can't hold it
a
all.
little dog, how much pee can there be? Yeah.
Are they out
Right.
all together at night?
So we're gonna send you some videos
Yes.
and pictures. We have this set up like a home. So there are not cages and kennels and all this other stuff. This is where they live. This is their home. We are just visitors.
They have a closet with all their little outfits.
Yes,
Where
yes.
do you
And we
see
have a
it?
couch and some chairs and a jukebox and a little kitchenette, and they watch Grit TV all day long, so they get to watch all their little oldie shows.
Oh my.
And they have their little outdoor area and everything. So yeah, it's very simple, just like a little home. But yeah, the morning people
Yeah.
come in, they feed the dogs. Everything is set up. We meal prep once a week. So in the refrigerator, all the dogs have little baskets with their names. You just pull out their little baggie. That's got everything they
Wow.
need. So it's very dummy proof is what I call it. And then they get to nap alone so that they're not bothered after that. And then 2 to 4 is playtime. So that volunteer comes in and gets to do activities and play and pet them, help with baths if we need to do baths, do some general cleaning. And then 6 to 8 is nighttime. It's nighttime meals, and then we wash all their paws and their feet and give them a little brush, and they get walked, and then they get tucked in for bed.
Wow.
So-
They have craft
that great?
time and music time.
2 o'clock. Yeah, 2 to 4 is when they do their playtime, and they can do whatever the volunteers want to do during that time. If they want to do crafts, they can do crafts. So.
Hope you're enjoying today's Speaking of Pets podcast. Every week we feature a board-certified specialist, dermatology, me, oncology, internal medicine, orthopedic surgery, ophthalmology, dentistry, you name it. If it affects pets, we're on it.
We're here to share some really good information for pet owners, practical information that is science-based, so that you can be a pet owner and have a healthier pet.
To learn more about your pet's health, check out our other episodes wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi everyone, I'm Larry. Some of you know me as Grandpa Larry, and I run Larry's Animal Safari on YouTube, where we share sweet and educational videos about baby gorillas, zoo animals, and the amazing teams who care for them. If you love animals of all kinds, I'd love to have you join us. You'll meet little ones like Jamila and Kayembe, learn how zoo families grow, and enjoy real moments that bring joy and curiosity to animal lovers everywhere. Just search Larry's Animal Safari on YouTube, or click the link in the show notes. New videos go up weekly, and each one supports awareness for animal care and conservation. Thanks to Speaking of Pets podcast for all they do. Now, let's get back to the show.
Well, how do you make sure that you're matching the right dog with the right owner?
Oh, I'm a private investigator to the
Good.
T. I'll tell you.
I do think it's that
So,
magical
yeah.
moment when you connect with the dog, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah, you definitely know. For instance, the meet and greet that we did today, it was, there's just that, you almost know right
Yeah.
away if it's a yes or if it's a no. And the dogs will tell you too. The dog, if you pay attention to the dog will tell you if they like that
sure.
person or not.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it is watching the dog. I want the person to like the dog, of
Right.
course, but I care less about that. I want to make sure the dog is going to connect and be happy as well. But, we do background checks and we call references. We always call references. And when I call references, I always let them know that this is 100% confidential. You can tell me anything that you want to tell me. And, I'm not going to repeat anything. And you'd be surprised. There are some references who have said, I don't think this person.
Right.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah.
It's happened. It
Or the
really
neighbors, or the neighbors will say, hey, this is not a good pet owner.
Yes, yeah. And I've called vets' offices before, and I've had the front desk girl say, you might want to call her mom or her daughter,
Oh.
and talk to her daughter, And so then I call daughter, and she says, please do not give my mom a dog. She's not taking care of herself right now.
Yeah.
Let alone does she need a dog, so it's just that communication. You have to communicate, you have to know how to communicate,
Yeah.
and you just have to know what you're looking for.
And you have to read the person, and that can be hard sometimes.
Sure, absolutely, because anybody can be anybody for a short period
Oh,
of
yeah.
time.
Tell, without mentioning any names, talk to us about Pepper and how Pepper came to be.
Okay. So Pepper's owner had to quickly go into a domestic violence shelter, and it was one that they couldn't take animals into. And so she brought Pepper here and brought the children here with them as well to say goodbye to Pepper. Man, that was a hard day.
And Pepper has a serious disease.
Yes, that's been untreated for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And he was very sluggish and very just sick. He was a sick dog. But what's really interesting is the medication that he requires for this disease, it's pretty costly. But a month prior to Pepper showing up here, somebody donated 3 boxes of that medication to us. And it's the exact dose for his weight.
How weird.
Yeah, so I mean, when I found that out, I'm like, wait a minute, I think we have that. And I looked in our little cabinet and we had it.
Yeah.
So unopened boxes, like just never used.
Wow.
So it was amazing.
So you never
So now
know.
we have him on that.
You never know
Yeah,
where these dogs are going to come from.
Yeah.
I mean, Jen,
Yeah.
she has Southwest Airlines will fly a rescue dog at no charge
Oh.
to her rescue.
Do they, when Southwest
And they
flies,
fly with the flight.
are they in the plane or in the hole?
Yes, with the flight crew.
I love that.
Yeah.
You get little
yeah. And
wings.
so and they
Rufus,
have, like,
we'll have to show
special-
Rufus's picture because Rufus flew
Oh, we
from
will.
Indiana, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll put his in.
Rufus flew from Indiana, and he went from Indiana to Baltimore.
Oh.
Switched planes and crews, and then from Baltimore to Sarasota. And they had like a party in Baltimore with him. The flight crews all like got together and hung out and had snacks with him and took pictures.
And Rufus's skin is pretty bad, so
Yeah.
I'm really, that must have been a special crew, because a lot of dogs that have skin issues, no one wants to touch them or be around them.
No, they love it. They're amazing. And I mean, they do such a great job.
That's
and then
so nice.
Walter came last week from Augusta, Florida, or Augusta, Georgia.
Right.
And so they actually, one of the flight attendants drove him because they couldn't get a flight out of Augusta because of the Masters.
Oh, right.
And so they actually, one of the flight attendants went to Augusta, picked him up and drove him to Atlanta, and then put him on the plane and flew him to Sarasota.
That's
I mean,
great.
they are amazing.
Now tell,
Yeah.
and speaking of Walter, tell Janet how you got him, because they diagnosed him as having a neurologic disease. So
Sure.
tell about that, Shelley.
Yeah, so I was called by another rescue up in Georgia who had gotten him, and they were kind of at their wits' end, I guess, or had kind of run out of resources and weren't sure what else to do, and they had heard about us and reached out and said, you know, would you be willing to take him, because we don't know what else to do with this.
Because all he was doing, Janet, he's a little Shih Tzu. He was
Spinning
circling
circles.
like this all the time. He thought he had a brain
And
lesion.
just, yeah, and just crying.
And crying.
Just spinning and crying and spinning and crying. And so they sent me some videos. They sent me what all they had done as far as vet care and all that. And so we said, sure, bring him down here. We'll see what we can do. And so we did. And come to find out, he's just blind and scared.
Yeah.
So
Cataract.
he just is having a really hard time learning his environment. Some dogs adjust
Right.
really well to being blind, but he is just not adjusting well at all. And so we're currently fundraising and trying to raise money so that we can, you know, get his cataracts taken care of. And I think he'll be an amazing dog.
I do too.
Once we do that, but he's just scared. He's just terrified.
Shelley, I want to remind myself to remind you, when you can, video him just walking around sniffing, because I want the ophthalmologist to see that. Because you know when you take him to the ophthalmologist, he's going to be like
Yeah.
all,
He's gonna be
yeah,
yes.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's gonna be well.
So once someone adopts one of your senior Snout family members, what kind of support do you provide after that?
So we are big into the 3-3-3 rule, the 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, and how that kind of follows along with the dog. And I'll share some information with you about that, so you can share that
good.
on your podcast.
Good.
But we always check in with them at those marks, the 3 days, the 3 weeks, and the 3 months mark, and just make sure that the dogs are kind of following those milestones and remind the adopter of what to expect next.
Good.
And then we check in with them at the 6-month mark and then the 1-year mark as well, just to make sure that everything's good. Also remind them that they're due for their vaccines and
Right.
different things. We also have an agreement that if for any reason they can't keep the dog or care for the dog anymore, they're always to be returned back to us. And so, you know, just to remind them of that,
Yeah.
that, you know,
Yeah.
if anything happens, you know, make sure you get in touch with us, but also just to answer any questions and continue support. So they always have my personal cell phone number, any adopter does, and then along with our co-director, Melissa, they always have her personal
Now,
information.
can
as well.
anyone, are there restrictions for adoption? Do you have to be a Florida resident?
No. You don't have to be a Florida resident. It definitely makes my job a little
Yeah.
easier. Some dogs are special needs dogs. I do like for them to stay
Sure.
close, just because, you know, there is a high risk of the dog being returned, and I want to make sure that I'm close
Yeah.
by. Other dogs that see some of our specialist vets, I do encourage them to stay close, just so that they can continue the vet care that they've continued to have. So it you know, it can be a case by case
Yeah.
situation,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
But it's not always that. You know, we have fosters right now in Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and Florida. So we're not just a Florida-based rescue.
Good.
So we're kind of we're kind of out there, and we're always willing to grow even more. So if somebody wanted to be in different states, we'll always look into that if we can find the vet care there.
So what's like the 5-year plan for silver snouts? What's down the pike? What's the exciting?
It's so exciting. So we've got our rehab center that it's still work in progress, but we're functioning. We're rolling along. We're hoping to have more foster homes in Southwest Florida. So that's kind of what I'm working on now. We've got to get them rotating a little bit more through the center here and out into foster.
Yeah.
So right now they're coming into the center and they're kind of getting stuck here a little bit more than what I would like. I'd like to get them here, get them vetted, and out into foster so that we open another space.
Right.
So this is supposed to be a very quick landing space here. So looking for more foster homes. We definitely need to have some more foster homes. And just having some more volunteers that are willing to take on more of a management role. Right now, I do a lot more than I should. I have a lot more on my plate than I need to have on my plate. So, 5 years from now, there's got to be more management roles. That way we can safely grow and, effectively grow.
And the thrift shop.
And the thrift shops. We have an amazing volunteer here, 17 years old. She's brilliant. So we recently had a pet store that shut down, and they called us and said, come get everything that's left.
Oh my God, that's like a dream come true.
Yeah. So we have like big, huge boxes full of toys that still have the tags on them. These old dogs could care less about these toys.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them like them, but we will never use these toys. And that's just one example of some of the things. And so Reese had this great idea. We have a little shed on our property. It's not little, it's a big shed.
It's cute.
But yeah, she wants to turn it into a little store.
Yeah.
And maybe like one Saturday a month, people can come and shop, and then that helps fund the rescue.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
then another part of our barn that our center is in, my husband and I would like to make like an indoor dog park, and it be a private membership only. So people can pay a monthly membership to bring their dogs to play, and it help fund the rescue too. So we've got some things in the pipeline that we'd like to work on, but right now we need a laundry room.
Yeah.
So that's our next step. Is we have we're so lucky. We have ladies that come and get our dirty laundry and take it to their house and wash it, but that's pretty gross.
I
don't know how
that's a big
people
part
know.
of it. People don't realize the towels and
Oh,
bedding
yeah.
and everything that you go through.
I have one dog and
Yeah,
2
especially
cats,
these little-
but there's a lot of bedding.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, these old dogs have leaky bladders.
Yeah.
They're like people,
Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
they just walk. So yeah, we have laundry, and like I said, we have a couple really amazing women that will take it home and wash it for us and bring it back. But I don't know that that's very sustainable. And I don't know how long that- So
Especially with
we
cloth
need a
car
little
seats.
laundry.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe there's a local appliance store that would donate,
Wouldn't that be great?
well, we actually have the washer and dryer donated.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the plumbing. So the plumbing is what we're working
Okay.
on fundraising for. Is we've got to get the plumbing done for the space. So,
Speak-
but yeah, no, we had a industrial washer and dryer is being donated.
Love that.
love it.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Speaking
Yeah.
of peeing, my observation after working with these little old dogs, not so much the pee, is I'll tell you, people, when you have a little old dog, you got to stay on their teeth because so many problems. Now, Shelley, I looked at Delilah, who got adopted today. When Delilah first came in, she was going like, we thought she had a heart problem. I thought, no, she sounds good, blah, blah. Here it was these teeth and all that congestion and works up into their sinuses. So people, when you have, especially small dogs, please keep having their dentals because it can affect so much about them.
Yeah, it's not just about making their teeth white.
No.
I hear so many people say they don't need their teeth cleaned. It's not about that. It's not about pearly whites. It's about the infection that gets
Yeah.
up in their sinuses and just
Sad.
all. Yes, you're right. She had just so much junk and all that. She couldn't hardly breathe because of all of it.
And
She
when
didn't
they're
wanna-
old like that, like their teeth infected, or when I would look at their skin infected, you get that under control and man, they bounce right back. That infection
Really
in
good
an
dog.
older pet just like in an older person. What do old people die from? Lung infections and UTIs. And I can see the same thing going on with pets. So, yeah. And also, the one, I guess it's a kill shelter, and we're not going to mention any names, that will call you to come get pets. They all come to you having a horrible heart murmur, and we listen to them, and they're not that horrible.
Oh, interesting.
No, it's a snotty nose. Every
And a
single
snotty
time.
nose. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like that should be grounds for you to be put down, not.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so how can the community help you? Like, what do you need in terms of donations? Other than cash, I know
so
cash is
everyone-
king, but
I know everyone always thinks all we want is their money, which we do,
Right.
of course. I mean, it's expensive.
Yeah,
if
it
you
is.
have a dog and you take your dog to the vet, imagine having 30
No, I can't.
dogs.
Yeah.
yeah.
At a time, we have about 25 to 30 dogs at a time within our rescue. Not here at the center,
right.
but within the rescue. But of course, donations. But the other thing is tell everyone you know about us, because people don't always know.
Yeah.
Delilah got adopted today because one of our volunteers was at the beach and said something to another lady about her dog whose neighbor was looking for a dog. That's how it happened.
Wow.
So just talking, sharing our things on social media,
On
onto your
Amazon.
page.
You have
Yeah,
Amazon.
Amazon. We've got our Amazon
Oh,
wish
good.
list that we try to keep updated. We need food, we need dog beds, all those things. You can go on there, shop, and it hit send, and it ships directly to us. You don't even have to bring it to us. It'll come directly to us. Physical labor, we've got a little sun sail that we want to put out above the dog's play area so these big birds don't scoop down and get the little dog.
Right.
But we need somebody to put the posts in the ground, in the concrete, just things like that.
Can you tell Janet the story about that driveway? How nice that was?
Oh,
This is so nice,
yes.
Janet.
We had just a dirt pit from where all of our volunteers were parking and things. And some guy pulled up here, and I thought it was a scam. And he said, "Hey, we have all this asphalt that we were supposed to be putting down here, and something happened. We can't put it there.
Wow.
And it's going to harden because it's going to cool. Can we just put it over here?" And at first I thought he meant just dump it on our property. And he was like, no, can we asphalt your parking lot? And I was like, "Well, how much?" And he was like, "Well, I mean, this is like a dog rescue." And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Well, just for free. I'll just do it." He was like, "I've got 30 minutes to get this someplace or it's scrapped."
I love that.
And I was like, "Let me get out of the way."
Well, I worked for a nonprofit, and I had the local carpet guy come in to do the hallways, but I didn't want to do the steps or the downstairs because we couldn't afford it. And it was Christmas. He was doing it over Christmas break because nobody was there, right?
Is this at your office, Janet?
This is at Person to Person in where I live.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
I come back after Christmas, and there's all new carpet on the steps and downstairs, and I'm like, "Oh my God, he didn't hear me. I'm going to pay for this. I can't afford it. We don't have it in the budget." And I called him and I go, "Oh my God, Dennis, I can't do this." He goes, "Merry Christmas." And he did it all on his own. And I swear to God, I burst into tears. I was so happy, and it looked so nice and clean. But it was just, he said, "I had the extra carpet. Why not?" And it was really nice. Really generous.
Amazing.
We had a couple of clients that when they would come in and I would have, check their dog out, everything, and they would go to the front desk and pay, and they would always give extra money for people that couldn't afford it. So we started, we called it the Jackie Fund. We named it after one of our office cats that died. And
You
I
had a
never told
human,
you-
Jackie.
yeah, well, Jackie that worked for me too, but we never told my accountant about it, because this way, if so-and-so was in and they're rescuing these cats and my God, they needed flea medication because they're two elderly people, they could barely walk, and they rescued all these cats. So, we would just take it out of there and give it to them. And it's so nice that people did it without asking for any accolades. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Same thing happened with our refrigerator. So we had put on Facebook that we needed a refrigerator, and I just needed some piece of junk to keep the dog food cold.
Right.
I didn't care. And the next day, a truck pulled in from an appliance store,
Someone bought it.
and I went out there, and the guy said, "We heard you guys needed a refrigerator," and I said, "Yeah, we do," you know. And he pulls out, and it's this brand new stainless
Sub-Zero.
steel. Still had all the stickers on it and everything, and I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! We just need some used piece of junk, like something you pulled out of somebody's house." And he said, "No, the owner said to bring
Yeah.
this one." I said, "Are you sure?" And he goes, "No, this is what he said, ma'am. I'm supposed to deliver
Ma'am.
Man,
it." Okay.
You're a ma'am
Ma'am.
now. Yeah.
No.
When did that start? Yeah, right.
I know we think animals are amazing, but
When I quit coloring my hair,
Yeah.
see, this means ma'am.
animals are amazing, but humans are amazing too.
They
When they
can be.
surprise
Sometimes.
you.
Right,
Can't be.
sometimes.
Humans who love dogs
Yes.
are amazing.
Yes, and that, you know, that's funny. It's about this person telling this person. That's how I met Shelley and heard about the rescue. I was on my walk, and I think it was Rose that I
Yeah.
ran into, and she said something about, I said, "Oh, you're a vet?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, do you know Silver?" I said, "No." And as soon as I got home, I checked it out, and then I emailed Shelley and said, "Hey, I'm a vet, and I'd love to come and see what." It's one person
Yeah.
telling another person.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she's talking to me about silver snouts. I'm like, what is it? And do they use the magic purple
You know what?
shampoo on their
And I'll tell you, rescue is hard because
Yeah.
it's very emotional, a lot of passionate people, and with that, you can get a lot of crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard sometimes because you do get a lot of crazy. And
Yes.
like, for example, in vet school, when I was riding with the horse vet, getting experience, we'd be leaving the barn and all these kittens would be all this up the respiratory. And I would say, "Dr. McDonald, aren't we going to do anything for those kittens?" And he's like, "Alice, you got to learn. You can't," and well, I never did learn, but that you can't treat everything. But I couldn't walk away from these kittens needing
Yeah.
some antibiotics. I mean, this is just how it is. Yeah.
I know it.
Shelley, tell the story about Daisy without mentioning, but Janet, she also finds situations where a dog has to be removed from the house because it's getting neglected. Tell us Daisy's story, because I want people to know that we also get dogs out of bad situations.
Well, I think you're talking about a different dog, but
Oh, the
I
Yorkie,
won't,
the
I
Yorkie.
won't change the name.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
so-
We won't say the name.
That's okay.
It's
yeah.
a different dog. It's not that one, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I had a lady call me and said that her neighbor's dog was injured, and the neighbor didn't have the money to take the dog to the vet, and that the dog couldn't walk. She was paralyzed and screaming in pain and didn't know what to do. I wanted to know what to do. And so, you know, I'm not in the business of just paying people's vet
Right.
bills.
Right.
As much as I would love to
Yeah,
do that, that's not what my rescue
Right.
does.
We're not
so
Medicaid.
I had,
Right.
right, yes. I had her bring the dog over, and the dog was literally screaming in pain, shaking, panting. Like, it was a very bad situation. And so I told the dog's owner, I asked if she had tried all these different resources, and she said she had. And so I said, the only thing that I can do is if you want to surrender the dog to me, then I will
Yeah.
take care of the dog.
Yeah.
That's all I can offer,
Right.
at this point. And so she surrendered the dog, and I took the dog immediately, to the vet. And the dog ended up having bladder stones the size of marbles.
And
And
that
this is a little
dog.
dog. Yeah.
She is about 6 pounds, is how much she weighs. And come to find out, the type of bladder stones are the type that come from long-term urinary tract infections. So this dog had been suffering from urinary tract infections for a very long time to have bladder stones that big, and so many of them. And, even when I had confronted her later about that, she said that she knew the dog had been urinating blood and just had been giving the dog cranberries to, try to help and that sort of thing. And it was
Bad.
just not a good situation.
And full of
all
fleas,
around.
too.
She literally had fleas just jumping off
Yeah.
of her.
So how did you
all
get the dog?
She signed her over to
Oh,
him.
she did.
She signed me over.
Yeah.
She signed the dog over to me.
And
Yeah,
immediately had
right
surgery.
then.
Immediately had surgery to take those out.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that the dog would have made it another day. She was in so much
So
pain.
what do you want our listeners to know about senior dogs?
I want listeners to know that they're not bad dogs. They're not, so many people say they don't want a senior dog. And a lot of the reasons is, the biggest thing I hear is, I don't want to get a dog that I'm going to get attached to and it's going to die soon.
Right.
That's the biggest thing that I come up against, especially when trying to find homes for these dogs.
Yeah.
And, a lot of times I just try to turn that around about what a beautiful thing it is to love a dog in the last chapter of their life.
Yeah.
And, how I feel honored to be able to do that with a dog.
Yes.
And, how even though it might seem a little scary or, like you might have to go through something difficult, I always challenge people to just try it once.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you'll do it again and again and again and again, but if I can do something like that, then you can do something like that. And they deserve it. These dogs are always loyal.
Yeah.
They're the most loyal things in the world. And, if you imagine this dog, like Miko, who's staring at me right now, wondering why I'm talking to a screen, I'm sure, he's 10 years old. For 10 years, I'm sure this dog was loyal to somebody.
Right.
And he deserves a good final chapter. He deserves someone to care for him until he passes away.
And he's not trying to be loyal with somebody else,
100%. Yes. 100%. Yes.
And I think too, I think older people, I think an older dog for older people is a great idea because they're not jumping on you and wanting to, you can take naps together, you can eat together. I mean,
Exactly.
You can watch your soaps
And people
together.
Right. And people think that older dogs come with a lot of problems, and I don't think that that's necessarily true at all.
I
either.
agree.
A lot of times it's just a matter of figuring out what their ailment is. Because they can't tell you what's wrong. And so when we get dogs, that's our biggest, trickiest thing is just kind of figuring out what they need. But once we figure that out, it's usually the same one or two things that is easy to manage. It's just like people. When grandma gets old, you don't go just dispose of her and get a new grandma. It's the same concept. You just love them through it. It's just another part of their journey.
And they're so adorable.
So Shelley, I got to ask you our guest question. What is your pet or human peeve?
Oh boy.
My pet or human peeve.
My pet peeve is when they
Probably-
bring in a live animal into the house.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
My
like a chipmunk
Oh
or
yeah,
something?
because they go like this as they come
Or
in
a
the door.
snake.
Like they actually know. And you're like, something's under there, I know it. They do, they duck their heads. All three of them do.
oh
And the
my
fourth, the
gosh.
husband does too.
Yes.
Eating a bag of
yes.
chips.
Well, okay.
Okay.
My pet peeve would be probably with my little Kobe John, which is my little min pin. He sleeps in bed with us at night. He absolutely knows how to get in the bed by himself, but refuses to.
Oh, he wants the treatment.
So when he gets down at 3 a.m. to get a drink of water, because he's an old dog and he needs a drink of water in the middle of the night, he's too heavy for me to reach over and pick him up. So I have to get out of bed, pick him up, put him back in the bed, then I get back in the
And you're
bed.
awake.
Then I'm wide awake.
Could you get those steps?
Yeah, what about a
The
ramp?
carpeted-
Refuses. I've got a ramp.
Oh,
I
he
tried
won't
the
do it.
steps.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
he's just this.
What does he do? Does he
No,
cry
Mom,
until
you're
you
gonna
pick
get
him
and
up?
Pick me up. Yep. The whole just. Yep.
I'm glad somebody else is getting up at 3:30 in the morning because I'm sitting here with Annie. She gets up at 3:30 every morning to go out tinkle.
Really?
And I don't think she has to go. I think she wants to check out what's out there.
Yeah.
So what if you don't
well,
take
that's
her
when all
out?
the wildlife is going.
She keeps tick, 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 tick. And then I'm afraid she's going to pee and this is a rental.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Jeez.
This one, if I'm not in the same room, she'll go to the front door, paw it.
Oh.
And then that means go out. So then I go to the door and I open it and she's like,
I know.
Oh,
and then I pull the collar. I'm like, you wanted to go out.
Well, I think what bothers me after the 3:30 a.m., then she trots to the kitchen like trying to get breakfast out of me. Too early.
I don't do that either. We don't feed. We don't. Feed
5:30 is breakfast.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't feed at the same time every day because that makes me nuts.
Oh, with Gidget, it's like tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
Yeah, my dogs know exactly
Oh,
what
yeah.
time it is. Yeah.
Even with
And
the
when
time change.
happened, they know.
They know.
Like when time change happened, they're like, "No, I'm not playing that
I
game."
know.
Oh, see,
So,
she doesn't.
it's time.
We're so inconsistent.
Oh, see, yeah.
Oh,
She's
wow.
probably
That would
very
never-
stressed by that. Not
She
knowing when
seems
time her
stressed
next
to you.
meal is.
Do you sense stress?
No, that's true. Okay.
She doesn't.
you're
She's a
right.
golden. She's like, what are you doing?
I know, that's true.
Alice actually, Libby's a rescue, and Alice picked her out for us in Ohio and said,
She
"You gotta come get
escaped an
this one."
Amish breeding facility, was hit by a car, and then she was found in a field, and they called Sandy from Golden Treasures to come get her because they knew, what was it? It was a broken hip.
They did that femur
we had
ball.
Dr.
They took
Dave
the
fix
ball off. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
they did a femoral head osteotomy.
But the
right,
funny
right.
part was they interviewed me on the phone and all that stuff, the rescue agency, and then it was a
I can't believe they interviewed you after,
checking about.
I guess I.
So
okay.
anyway, so they interviewed me, and then my husband and I were at that last James Bond. I don't know, it was 5 years ago we got her. So
Oh, that's right.
we were at a James
Yeah.
Bond movie, and it was a Friday, and we're in Connecticut, and the drive to Ohio is like 8.5 hours.
Because the foster was going to keep her.
Yes, the foster was going to. We love our foster Erin. She was going to keep her.
Erin, at the last minute, changed her mind.
Changed her mind 'cause
Right.
they had 2 Goldens and blah, blah, blah. They were
Right.
very busy with dogs. So
Right.
I get a call and I had to leave the movie. So I never saw the end of the movie. And I had to leave the movie and outside and they're like, do you think you could like come like in the next couple days? And I'm like,
And we were leaving for Florida that
oh,
Sunday.
I had nowhere to
So we-
stay.
No.
So we
were closing
drove
up the
into
house.
Pennsylvania. We threw a kennel in the car, a bag of clothes,
know. Oh, my
and we
God.
drove and stayed at I don't know, it was some hotel near Penn State. I remember that.
Horrible. Oh, yeah.
And we
Good.
drove like 5 hours, stayed overnight, got up, drove to Ohio, 45 minutes, picked up the dog, got back in the car, and drove 8.5
my
hours.
gosh.
And that's how we got Libby. And she loves to hear her birth.
Happy ending.
She loves to hear
Yeah.
her
Right.
adoption story. So
Well, and now if you said her, I've got to say, Gidget, who's sleeping here under the table, she did a 48-hour flight from China.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think she
Wow.
trumps all you guys. She did
Yes.
a 40, we
Yeah, she
got,
wins.
the rescue got 7 dogs. We got 7 dogs out of China because of the Yunnan Meat Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And then Annie is an Amish breeding dog failure because she's small.
very small.
And probably didn't produce. So we got her. Oh, here she comes. Yeah, we got her.
But
So,
Gidget
yeah.
doesn't.
Everyone has a story.
Gidget doesn't like boxes or luggage.
Right. Right. And well,
and poles.
she's getting better.
And
Yeah, she's
poles.
getting better.
Like when
yeah.
the guy comes to clean the pool, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
fun. It's just funny.
Yeah,
This
she
one-
didn't like that.
This one, everyone's her friend. She has like no fear.
Yeah. Yeah, because you had her at 6 months of age.
Yeah.
Gidget was a year and Annie was a year.
But she
when
was
we got-
pretty much on a leash almost her first year.
Yeah,
Couldn't
you had to
run.
leash walk her.
Yeah,
Right.
couldn't run and all that stuff. But she's great. She's been absolutely wonderful. The whole neighborhood knows her. The strollers come by and they're like, "Hi, Libby." You know,
Yeah.
it's cute. It's really cute. But
Delivery
Shelley,
driver.
you are just amazing. Thank you for the amazing work you're doing to help
Aw.
these silver.
Told
stars.
ya.
We appreciate you, and we'll put some info up about your organization on the.
Oh,
screen.
yeah. I took all the
Yeah,
notes. I'm
great.
going to put all the pictures of Rufus and Pepper and Randy Patrick, of course, in all of his outfits. And
Of course.
And our
we
listeners,
could do a whole album of Randy.
Randy
Patrick.
Patrick is a star. He, like you said, people recognize, is that Randy Patrick? Where's that name from?
So honestly, one of the volunteers wanted to name him Randy, and I wanted to name him Patrick, and so we hyphenated it.
But Janet, I keep changing the names of the dog. I'll call in prescriptions and I'll say, this is for Nala. This is Dr. Jerome. I'm calling for Nala. And then Shelley goes to pick it up and she says a different name and they're like, no, it's Nala. And Shelley says, oh, the doctor always changes their names. Don't worry about it.
Hey, one of my.
She's called Yvonne Vanessa
I
since day one. She's like, how's
Does
Vanessa?
she look like
And
a
I'm like,
Vanessa?
She's
She
fine.
does look like a Vanessa.
So one of my son's friends has a black cat, and his name is Brad Pepsi.
Oh,
And he was at a cafe, I think it was in DC, and he's eating, and this cat walked up. And he just kept petting the cat, Brad Pepsi.
Aw.
And then he left the cafe, and then like a few hours later, he's walking down the street, and there's Brad Pepsi. And so I think they took it to the vet, and they did the thing, and the owner had given it up for adoption, and it had gotten out or something. They called the adoption agency, and they ended up.
Oh my God.
And you know what? He's a fabulous cat and very attached.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting? Follow.
They all have a story.
They do. So that's Brad
Yes.
Pepsi. But thank you for the amazing work you're doing. We appreciate you.
No, thank you for having me.
And don't forget to hug all your pets. And thanks for listening today. Don't forget to share. We're number 3 in the animal and pets category
On Apple Podcasts.
on Apple Podcasts. So we want to go up. So keep liking it.
And I'll see
sharing
you
it with
tomorrow,
your friends.
Shelley.
Yep.
Okay, everyone,
See you
thanks for
tomorrow.
tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching and listening. We like likes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow us on social media at Speaking of Pets.
And give your pets a big kiss from the Novotny sisters.
The Speaking of Pets podcast is an SLA Video Production.